Hi everyone. So I'm sat here watching TV. Not good on really. It's quite boring. So I thought I might go and show you another card trick. A nice easy one for beginners to do as well. So let's go. Okay, so here is quite an easy but quite a fun, cool card trick to show to your friends and family. You give the pack a shuffle first of all. And what I'm going to do is I get a spectator to choose two cards here in this one, but to make it completely random I'm going to turn cards over just like so. So the first two face down cards we come to, we'll use them. So it's these here. So what we've got there now is the King of Hearts and the Ace of Clubs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just give the pack a bit of a shuffle and just shuffle it like so. And again we'll give it another shuffle. This time when I'm shuffling I get the spectator to say stop, stop, stop there. Okay, so what we're going to do is now make 4 piles and just place them on the table like this. Now you get a spectator now to choose 2 piles, so say for instance to choose this one and this one, then we'll get rid of that one, put them to one side, and then choose a pile, say for instance to choose this one. Okay, so we get another pile just like so, and then we say choose one more pile, say for instance to choose this. It then goes on the top just like that. What I'm going to do now is what's called a sloppy shuffle, and that's by turning some cards face down and some face up, so it mixes them up completely at random just like so. And I'll just do that. Okay, so as you can see now in the pack we've actually got some cards that are face to back, back to face again, face to back as well. So they're all completely mixed up. But all I have to do is just to click my fingers, and by clicking my fingers I can actually make all cards now turn face down, apart from just the 2 cards that you selected from the beginning, the King of Hearts and the Ace of Clubs. Okay, so this card trick is so simple that even some of you that have watched the video already have probably worked out how it's probably done. So what you do is you start with a deck here. You can do some false cuts if you want, or some shuffles, whichever you want to do, but what you must do is maintain your top 2 cards which you're going to use. So that's going to be the King of Hearts and the Ace of Clubs that we used in the performance. So what you actually do first of all is you turn over about a quarter of the pack and flip it over, and then you turn over about half of the pack and flip it over. And what that does then is it puts your selection, your Ace of Clubs and the King of Hearts, as the first 2 cards facing down. Now once you've shown these can be any of the cards, but the spectator will obviously have to remember them. Once you've done that, just quickly then just shove them back to the bottom of the deck and then put these back on top. So you've now got the selections at the bottom. So what you want to do now is what's called a Hindu shuffle. Now a Hindu shuffle is where you actually pull some cards off the bottom and then you just grabbing a few off the top like that. You just sliding them off the top, and then the other ones go back to the bottom. So what you've actually done is you've kept the selections at the bottom. You then do it again and you tell the spectator to just say stop when he or she would like to, and as soon as they think you're shuffling you just say stop. So you've got the 2 piles. Now you've got to remember that this pile now has the selections at the bottom. So what you do is you then cut it into 4 piles. So again, in fact I'll put some more back on that pile, there's not a lot there. You've got to remember that pile's got the selections on. So you ask them then to pick 2 piles. Now again, this is going to be Magician's Force. So if for instance they pick this one and this one, that's cool. Just take them and put them to one side. If they picked this one and this one, then what you need to do is take that pile and put it on top, because you always want to maintain them 2 cards at the bottom. And then obviously with these 2 you'd say pick a pile, it doesn't matter which one they pick, whichever they pick, just put it on top just like that. You then end up with 2 piles. You know now that this pile has the selection, so if they say okay this one, then you would just put that one on top. If they say this one, then you just put that one on top. So you make sure that you keep the selection at the bottom. So what you're going to do now is what's called a sloppy shuffle, and what you do is you're sliding off a few cards, you turn the pack over, and then you continue to slide off some more cards just like that. Now you're not really mixing them up, because all you're doing is just putting cards back to back really, and you keep doing that until you get to the last 2 cards, which is the selection, and you put them face down on the top of the deck. So what you're going to do now is show, if you cut the bottom half of the pack, you can show cards face to back. If you cut the top half of the deck, you can show cards back to face. And what you want to do is aim for that middle where it is back to back. Once you've got that, you can show them that there's different ones, back to face, face to back, and also back to back, and people believe that the pack is shuffled. So what you do then is you place the cards back on top, and what that does is it puts all the cards back together. But unbeknown to the spectator, once you spread through the cards, the only two cards that are now face up in the deck is the selection. So that's it. It's so simple to do. The only probably hardest thing that you got to master with this one is probably doing the Hindu shuffle, but well, even I need to master it as well. The Hindu shuffle is quite an easy thing. So again, all you do is you hold a pack in your hand and you come across with your finger and thumb and you pull out the bottom portion of the deck, and then all you're doing is just sliding off with gripping it with your fingers and your thumb. You're just sliding off there. So what you're always doing is maintaining the top card in the deck, the bottom card in the deck, and that's the control then that you need for that. So that's probably the hardest thing in this whole trick. The rest of it is just step by step, simple instruction. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon for more tutorials.